let's get this party started. Ooh, scary. Let's see, where were we? Alright, we've alerted the internet to our presence. Let's see, where did we leave off yesterday? Wait, I needed to have a tab down here with chat in it. Alright. Let's get started. Alright, so we are working on Savvy. Yesterday we continued on our GitHub integration trail. We've been on it for a while now. Hopefully approaching the end of it though. Did we leave ourselves in a buildable state? We did. It's always a good day when you've left yourself in a buildable state. So let's see. What do we... What state is buildable? Alright, so we've got our GitHub callback. Last time we finished working on our GitHub endpoint. For those just joining or watching later, the GitHub endpoint is where the user starts their GitHub authentication journey in an app that's using Savvy. Why is this being weird? So you create a config. It's got the basic things that your GitHub authorization is going to want per GitHub's authorization docs, and it's going to generate an authorization URL which has like your client ID and the scopes you want and these other values, and then a redirect URI, and this is going to essentially operate as the first pass of your authorization code flow, except rather than going to some custom server, the authorization code or the authorization URL is always going to be GitHub's URL, which is fine. That makes it super easy for this particular one. So we've done that. It's going to return what should be a black button, well, a link with a background color of black and a border radius of 4 pixels and white text that just says authenticate with GitHub. So that should be, when we're running the app, that should be what we see. So let's pop over to a different one. It's OCaml OAuth client. Yeah. If we're in here, we've we've got our GitHub and GitHub callback. Is this all the right stuff still? I don't think GitHub callback is right. Let's see, GitHub callback. We'll just go ahead and grab this. And then we'll come back over here. We'll put this in there. Alright, so it's upset about GitHub Exchange code not being real and some of these other things maybe not being there, and that's fine. That is fine. We are gonna have to update Savvy over here because I don't think, that's the other question we need to ask. Did we did commit and we pushed. Good. So let's come back over here. Make sure this stuff is all good still. Oh, yeah, that looks fine. There's something off a little bit though. Maybe not. Alright, seems good. So let's go into our vendor. And we'll do a git pull in here, get the latest update. Don't steal my password. Cool, that's updated. That's kind of the beautiful part about OCaml when you're using Dune, is that it will automatically look through your directories to find what's in there, what's buildable. So you can just create a folder. You can use any folder name. I like the folder name vendor. Hold on one second. Vendor is a bit of a convention. It's more easily recognizable when someone else is like loading up your app, but you can technically call it anything you want. And then you can just git clone an OCaml, any project that's been built with Dune, you can just clone it in there and Dune will find it. So in this case, we are in, we're in this, what was it? Yeah, the OAuth 2 client. And this is just sort of my dummy app that I've got that's just running Savvy, using the examples from main.ml with actual stuff plugged in, like workable, working, like IDs and secrets and stuff. But they're for a dummy app. George, don't fire me. They're for a dummy app. So, like, if you steal those secrets and IDs, like, I mean, I guess good job, but you're not getting anywhere. Yeah, so we need to do a quick build. Everything's working. Let's come back and check that those errors are gone. Good, errors gone. All right, when we go to /GitHub now, we've got our actual client ID in here. I don't have the client secret in here. We'll have to figure out. Yeah, I don't know. I'll probably have to take it off screen or something to show this. Again, I guess it doesn't matter since this is just a dummy app, but I don't know. It's still, I want George to be proud of me. So we'll try and keep it secret. But yeah, we've already built. So let's run the program. So we got that running. So we come back here. We come to GitHub. Hey, authenticate with GitHub. That's weird. This does not have a black background, and it does not have white text. Weird. It's only sort of problematic. I guess we don't really care that much. But it's still a little frustrating that it's just not obeying at all. Huh. What am I missing here? Why is this not obeying? Oh, it's the quotes. Is it? Is it the quotes? closed everything. Well, all right. Oh wait, we're inside single quotes, so it's actually, I think I just want this anyway. What do I have to do here? Background color. I just want a black background color. No quotes required. Just should be black. Padding. 8 pixels. Why is style? Oh, it's styles. I'm just an idiot. The web browser's like, what are you talking about? Nope, that did not work either. What? Oh wait, yeah, it did work. Okay, we're good. We're good. Get this weird double quotes black though. This is like such a not important thing, but we're gonna work. We're gonna fix it. We're gonna fix it. It's important to me now. All right. Can't use double quotes. Like we're supposed to be inside single quotes. You know what? Let's do this. Right? Can I do it like that? Maybe I just take this quotes out altogether. Maybe I don't need the quotes. It's not a string, right? CSS doesn't use strings. It uses style. Oops, it was right here that I actually wanted that. This thingy. So this guy needs to go back to being single quote. Does that work? 11. Okay, that got us closer. We got background. The padding didn't work. Why the padding? Oh, I guess the padding did work. It just is barely noticeable. Color. Color white border radius. Oh, there's no semicolon. Oh man. All right, here we go. Here we go. I swear we do actually write OCaml on this stream, not HTML, not normally HTML. All right, there we go. There's our very basic authenticate with GitHub button. All right, no more tinkering with the HTML. So all we're gonna do in this program, you can kind of see it here, is we just wanted to create this link, and it's going to get the authorization URL from GitHub. So when I click this link, it's going to take me to GitHub, to my test app that I created, and it's going to give me the opportunity to authorize. This is the easiest part. Auth is so easy. Why doesn't everyone roll their own auth? So we're going to basically pass off all this stuff. If we in Savvy jump over here, we can look and see. We're just going to go through the config. We're just assigning all of the random things that it needs: client ID, redirect UI, the scopes, the state. And we're passing all of that to GitHub. You can see it up here in the URL. Our client ID, our redirect URI, callback, scope, and state right there. So our state value is that sort of cryptographically secure random value that we're going to pass back to the authorization server. And that's so that we can confirm that we aren't being man-in-the-middled, right? So there's the state value, which is what the client is sending. It sends a state value that has to be the same front when it comes back. And that's how I'm watching to make sure I'm not getting man-in-the-middled. And the authorization server is, I can use Pixie, which GitHub does not support. But when I use Pixie, I send a cryptographically signed value to the server, and then whenever the server redirects back to me, whenever I make my token exchange request, I can send the unhashed version of that challenge, And that's how the server can confirm that they're not being man-in-the-middle. So it's sort of your double-edged sword of security, though GitHub actually does not allow you to do Pixie yet. It did look like maybe they were working on it, but guys, it's been a bit since GitHub has created OAuth applications, and the fact that it doesn't exist yet is still a little telling. So, GitHub people, if you're watching, you should fix this. Or I guess, like, show me how, and I'll fix it. Anyway. So, we're just going to give all these values. We're going to create the URL, and we're actually going to populate in our storage, our in-memory storage, the config that's been passed in and the state value that we've used. We're using state value as the key. That way it's easy for us to just look it back up, because whenever the auth server returns on redirect to my app, it's going to pass the state value, because again, remember, that's how I'm checking to make sure I'm not getting man-in-the-middle. And so when it checks, I can take that state that's passed to me and I can put it into my memory storage or whatever else, your SQLite or Redis or whatever you're using. I can just put that key in and see if I get anything back. And if I get something back, then I can use those values. If I get nothing back, then it means that the state value that's been sent isn't real, right? It wasn't actually given to me. And so that means that once they send back the state value, I can use that state value to get the original request's config, and then I can populate those values and continue working on the process of sending the authorization code in, which is what they send back if I click this button. So clicking that button will then take me through this second request chain, which is the exchange code for token, which is part 2 of our OAuth 2 flow. It'll pass back the URL. It'll actually redirect to this URI that I've given it, the redirect URI that I've given it. It's going to send the user back there. The user agent's going to go back there. It's going to send the state value, and it's going to send a code value, and that code value is the hash, essentially, that I'm going to use to request an access token. And once I have an access token, then I'm authorized, right? Then I'm in. So in our app that's running, I don't think I've got everything populated correctly. I don't think I have the client secret populated in there right now. Actually, I'm positive I don't, because we literally just looked at that and I mentioned that I was going to probably have to take it off stream. Let's just click the button, though. I love clicking buttons. All right. It wants to use GitHub Mobile. I can't remember if I need to take this off screen or not. It's going to ask. It's going to give me some fancy number, and then I have to type it in. So use GitHub Mobile. Grab it from my app. Put in 87. Just kidding, that wasn't the real number. And fatal internal server error, which is fine. That's okay. Internal server error, though, does tell me that something has happened over here, maybe. Nope, not you. Could you please stop? Oh, no errors over here, though. That's interesting. But you'll notice we did get a code and a state value. So this is almost certainly an internal server error in Savvy. So that's good. We hadn't tested this yet, so now we have. So let's take a look at where this could go wrong. So storage is going to use the state value that we get, which we do get. We get a state value, and then it's going to grab the stored config and the expiration date that's associated with it, because whenever we store stuff, we also give it a TTL, because we don't want, especially in this hacky in-memory version that we've got, we really don't want someone to start an authorization flow and just let it live on forever. Like if they're not authorized within, I don't remember what the time was, like within 10 minutes or something like that, like it's probably not happening. Like I think you can just assume that's not going to work out. So we have an expires time in there. We set, I think it's 10 minutes in the future or something like that. So we get the config and we get the expires. Then we run a remove on that state value. So once we've retrieved it once, it's gone, toast, deleted. Then we're going to grab that stored value and we're going to take the config out of it. We're going to grab the parameters, or we're going to create a new parameters object, because this is what we're going to be sending to the token exchange endpoint. Grab the client ID out of there, we're going to grab the client secret out of there, we're going to grab the code, and we're going to grab the redirect URI. The code is actually being passed in directly by the front end, quote unquote front end in this particular scenario. And the redirect URI is going to be the same redirect URI that was in the original, or in the config. So that's still going to be this GitHub callback URL. So grab this, we'll URL encode all of our parameters into a body object. We will then post that object to the access token endpoint. So this is GitHub's access, or this is GitHub's token exchange endpoint. It's hard coded because it's always the same for GitHub, which is fine. And then we're going to resolve the promise, grab the body that's coming back from this request, convert it from a body object back to a string. Then we're going to take that string and we are going to unwrap it. We're going to convert it back from a string to JSON, or an object of some sort. Then we're going to take that JSON, we're going to convert it into an OCaml object. And then we are going to grab from that object the token, because that should be what's coming back, should be the token. If it's okay, then we return the token. If it's not okay, if we don't unwrap it successfully, then we're going to go through some error steps and, try and convert things and, try and show what the error is. We did not see that happen here. So that tells me that the internal server error is probably somewhere up here, because all of this error handling, we've seen it work. We know it works. This is good. So I do want to just try putting the client secret in and see if that's the issue. It's entirely possible that some kind of error is being returned at this point because there's no client secret. If that's the case, then we'll take the client secret back out and we'll work on some error handling for this part, because from a developer perspective, we want any errors that come back, even if the errors from GitHub, to be accessible. We want it to be understandable. We want it to be where a developer who's building with Savvy will know right away what the problem is. We don't ever want internal server errors. Those are not useful. And that's not good development. It's not good DX, as they say. So let's briefly bring this off screen, off camera. And I am going to pop back over to our little app. And I am going to create, actually I need to do that in GitHub too. So let me pop that back over to my GitHub. I need to go make a secret. I actually don't have any client secrets for that particular app. So I have to go to developer settings, or GitHub settings, developer settings, OAuth apps, and then go to my test Savvy application. I'm going to create a new client secret. Great, love it, excellent. And then I am going to pop back over to my main file where I create the GitHub stuff, and I'm going to paste a real secret in here. Delightful. That's definitely a secret. Now we're going to do a doing build. Cool. And then we will spin things up again, and then we'll come back over here and we will go to GitHub. Alright, so here's our budget GitHub button. We're going to click that. We're going to authorize. Okay, still got an internal server error, so not connected to client secret not being available. Does it say? Okay, last used. My client secret shows as last used 1 minute ago, which means I just used it. So that's good. That's good. That means that it did in fact make that request. And it attempted to use the client secret. So that tells us kind of where our error is. Kind of. Okay, now we'll bring this back so everyone can see again. Your client secret is returned to its rightful place. So now we have to troubleshoot where is the problem actually. And this is the black hole of troubleshooting. So let's figure out. We could do some logging. I'm trying to remember how I did that before. If it was just if I can just do a printf statement. How are things moving along? What's up, Lesby? They're moving along. I don't want to assume you're not aware, but you can get rid of bind with let star. Ooh. You should always assume that I'm not aware. I am not good at OCaml programming. I just enjoy doing it. That's a good call out though. Where would you use let star? You'd use that here? Just do let star here? No, then it wouldn't be a function anymore. Const equals await foo. Oh. So like here. You do a let star here, and you do let star token result equals blah, like this, and then I could get rid of this line, right? Yeah. All right, we're troubleshooting something else right now. Let's come back to that. I do actually really want to get rid of these because I don't love these. They don't make a lot of sense. I mean, they make sense, but to someone who doesn't normally write OCaml, I don't look at those and immediately think to myself, that is resolving a promise. I look at it and think, is that the Haskell logo? Anyway. So we are hitting, for sure, yeah, we are hitting an internal server error when we attempt to exchange our code for a token. Our secret does say that it was used, so we know that we're at least making it past this point because it's making this request, but it doesn't seem like it's printing this error, which I feel like it should catch the error here. Unless this is the error. Error is the error description internal server error. That seems unlikely. No, that should say authorization failed if the error gets caught there. It should match the result. Excuse me. It should match the result with either OK or error. So if the error was handled correctly, I would think it should say authorization failed on this side and then show the message. I think we should add some logging. We should need to log some stuff. But where to log? Where to log? Also, I remember having issues with logging once before where like print inline just straight up didn't work. Let's just test this out though. And we're doing it here just for sanity's sake. We are doing it here in this second tab. So this is not in Savvy itself. This is just in the clone of Savvy that's in the test app. So we'll have to remember that if we make any changes here, we need to make them in real Savvy. Let's try this. Let's try print inline body string. And let's just see if we can get that to print. Okay, so let's come back to GitHub. Refresh this page. Attempt to authenticate. Authorize. Okay. Ooh, love that. Oh, here we go. Token request error, incorrect client credentials. Okay, maybe we were right then about the client secret. Maybe there's actually two errors here. Incorrect client credentials, error description. The client ID and or client secret passed are incorrect. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I could see that. Let's try with the real secret again, just really quick. Give me, oh shoot, it doesn't let me copy it again. I thought I could. All right, create a new one. Copy. Delete the old one. Client secret here. Client ID remains the same. Good. That would be super unfortunate. I have to update that every time too. All right. So it's in there. Let's see if we get the same error now. Here we go. Will we get the thrill of victory? Okay. Let's add a couple spaces so we know where we're at. Authorize. Oh. Hello. All right, so that actually worked. Yeah, so we got our access token right here. The scope that we've been assigned, or the scope that we've been approved for, are repo and user. And we have a token type, which just tells us that this is a token that should be a bearer token. Interesting. Okay, so the fact that we're getting a internal server error here is even more interesting now. Because that means, let's take this off screen again for a minute. That means the error is maybe in main. I can actually save this value somewhere. TextPad. The most secure way to store your secrets in a TextPad. Okay, so actually let's go back to what did I just do there? Boop. Let's come back to our exchange code and let's grab this out of here. That's not helpful. So we got what we needed. Well, we got what we needed there. Ooh. Is it this? Token response. What are you expecting? You're expecting something totally different. Shoot, I wish I'd saved those those values now. Ooh, we did. Huh. Hot diggity. Alright, so we are expecting different things. So if we come back in here and pop back to, well, let's go to main. We'll click on this. All right, so we are expecting different things. Our Yo.json wants to unwrap the blob that's coming back from GitHub, and unfortunately, the blob that comes back from GitHub does not look like what we're expecting, and that's fine because we just copied over the token response from OAuth 2, which has a bunch of extra stuff that GitHub does not. So what we get in GitHub is we don't have expires, we don't have refresh token, we have access token, we have token type, and we have scope. And actually, let's move this down here because alphabetical order is way better. All right, so we are going to get a scope Is it really going to be a string option default none? I'm not sure. This might not be real. Looks like we get a space delimited. Oh, wait, no, %2c. Is that colon, semicolon, comma? URL decode %2c. Comma. That's a comma. Alright, so it's a comma delimited list. So I don't know if we need to do anything with this. Oh my goodness. The jet engine of my computer. Took a lot of processing power to run that simple HTML website to decode HTML strings. Alright, so the token response, well, let's just start with making this change. That just seems like, ooh. We need to make this change over here though. In here. GitHub or token response. We need to get rid of these. And we need to move this one down one. Okay, I'm not sure about this typing yet. We'll see. So we got this here. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. We don't have a token error code. What was the token error code that we were getting before? I didn't save that one, of course not. Oh no, we did. Man, we've gotten so lucky with saving things today. Incorrect client credentials. Error description. Error URI. Okay, so this is a standard. This is a very standard error response, so that's good. Invalid. Huh. Incorrect client credentials is what the error that's being returned is, though. Weird. I guess we'll just add that one. It seems fine. Incorrect. I guess that goes at the top. String. Incorrect client credentials. Okay. Incorrect client credentials. Okay, let me grab this, and that's going to be up here. Oh, we can also add this here. And then we add it here. And that's just going to be this. Okay. All right, so what we're gonna do, oh, that's all in the wrong one. Take me back to GitHub. What's up, Shreyas? Good to see you, man. We are close. We're close. Close for sure. Grab this one because it's got them both. No, you. Alright, so we are just trying to troubleshoot the error coming back from GitHub. Actually, it's not from GitHub. GitHub is correctly telling us that our client credentials are incorrect, and then also correctly sending us the good things if they are correct, and we are not handling that error correctly. So we are going to build some error handling really quick to get that working, and then I think we're pretty much done with GitHub at that point, as long as we get all the credentials retrieved correctly. And then I think we'll be able to make another push for another OPAM release. I gotta spend some time reading up and finding out about how to get packages into the Dune package ecosystem, if that's the way everything's gonna go, though.